Greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to WizdomDropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. Meow. My name is Tonia, and today we are discussing the Virgo full moon for Earth signs. If you are a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus, ascendant, sun, or moon, then this video is for none other than you. With that said, make sure you do read for all three of your placements, and I think Earth signs came in second in the poll that I asked where houses everybody was experiencing this Virgo full moon energy in. So that's why we're doing y'all signs today. You should have a forecast Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, by the end of this as to what you're more than likely going to experience over the course of the next month, because it takes a month for there to be another full moon, right? Right. With that said, a couple super duper quick announcements for you before we do jump into all of them juicy details. Number one, if you're new to the channel, welcome. You can subscribe. Hello. Number two, like the video if it brings you any value whatsoever, because that helps more people get this content. And actually, number three, an interesting invitation for y'all. This Saturday at this Virgo full moon, we are hosting a live webinar event, totally free of charge to you. All you need to do is email me in the description box. You will find my email with a title in the subject line that says 411. So email me 411 and I will send you the link to join us. Come hither, join us, join us. Actually, interestingly enough, one or two of my previous students will be there to facilitate that process, so you can get a feel for what people will know by the end of going through my program. I have an astrology school, which leads me to announcement number 4 before we get into the details of Earth sign horoscopes. And that is, I am enrolling officially for another round of WizdomDropz Astrology School. This was an absolute blast. I just graduated a cohort that is absolutely insane, off the charts. I'm so impressed. I'm so proud of them. And I want to share this with people, with the world. I have this skill I've been learning for over 10 years. I've been just like a sponge every day learning from really good astrologers, and this is what I'm here to do in this capacity, is share this skill with you so that you don't have to constantly consume media to learn these basic concepts. You can have a mastery of these concepts and then go consume media to advance yourself even further within that solid comprehension base. All that to say, I get really passionate about teaching, as you'll soon find out if you book a conference call with me down below. That link is also there. So basically, if you're into that course idea, booking is happening right meow for calls. We're going to chat, be like, hey, what are you, looking for in this course, etc., etc., just to make sure that everybody is there for the right reasons. We're attracting the right people. We're attracting people who are very intentional and committed. This is for serious students only. If you want to advance your skill and have like really solid mentorship throughout the process. And with that said, Earth sign, thank you for listening to my information there. We're going to check out the chart for y'all, starting with Capricorn. All right, Caps. Cap, ascendant, sun, or moon. It's a serious full moon. JK, I had to mess with you Saturn ruled signs out there. But for real, it's seriously awesome for you, because guess what? That full moon is happening in the 9th house, as you can see here on the screen, Cap. You see how you're on the rising here? So that full moon in the 9th house is really profound. What does it mean? It brings in joy. It brings in revelations of spiritual nature and belief-based nature. The 9th house is a place of really true joy. It's like the happiest house by ancient standards. Also really happy houses include the 5th and the 11th, but the 9th takes the cake, you know what I'm saying? So to have a full moon there, something is illuminating in regard to even higher studies if you're a Capricorn ascendant, sun, or moon in higher education, because the 9th house is associated with philosophy, higher knowledge, higher wisdom, spiritual pursuits, all that jazz, you feel? So there's a culmination there. There's an awareness there. There's an energy, an energizing light, a big spotlight being shined on that 9th house for y'all at this point in time, Capricorn. So be on the lookout for really auspicious awarenesses and even epiphanies. And those epiphanies can come to you in particular through pleasurable activities that you're just doing for the fun of it. What a gracefully, divine blessed energy. Capricorns know most of the time anything worth having takes a hell of a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? But in the instance of this, Uranus is in your 5th house. And look at what Uranus is doing. It's trining the moon in Virgo. And so through surprise or through revelation, or that you can get through creative activities and pursuits, the fifth house rules pleasure and creations, like going to art school, going to art class, you know, with your paints. You got your paints, you're in the fifth house. You got your scissors, you got your paper, you're making little different things. That's the fifth house. It's a making house, it's a creation house. You're singing a song, you're making a song, you're creating something. So Uranus is in that fifth house right now, like waking that up, baby, asking you, like, where the fun at? And this is a long cycle of Uranus. So over the next several years, even in the next 6 years or so, Caps, you're going to have this awakening of fun. But right now, at this moon, this point in time, Capricorn, that Uranus energy is like, hello, like the moon is like right there. So these two things are divinely blessed. Look at the tight degree orb of separation, 9 and 7. This is actually technically 8 at the time of the exactness of the full moon. But anyway, all that to say, I think epiphanies are coming through fun, and it can just be pleasurable and come to you more easily than not. And look at Venus there supporting that, because Venus is the dispositor of Uranus's transiting sign right now, aka Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, where Uranus is currently transiting. Okay, so Venus in a harmonious aspect with that very planet in question, Uranus, is a gift. It is beautiful. It is reinforcing positive outcomes. So Capricorn, I think you're also at the same time going through some deep questioning and rechecking your value in terms of what you invest in money-wise, what you possess, what you have. You're looking at and really assessing, you just got through a Mercury retrograde actually, assessing your finances, assessing your abundance, assessing what you possess, assessing what you own, assessing how you use those and craft those and build those, you know, to be your Capricornian self. And so anyway, Saturn from that same second house where Mercury was just retrograding in is squaring off with that Uranus. So there's some epiphany energy through fun that helps you resolve a long-term issue, looking at abundance and what you currently possess and how you should invest something. Any Capricorns out there looking to invest in something for the sake of fun and pleasure and enjoyment that makes logical Virgo approved sense, this is actually, I would suggest, a very interesting energy to invest under. If it is well vetted, I see this playing out really well. If it's not, I see this playing out as a big fat loss. So don't get caught up in fantasy. That's the biggest qualm I will share with you about the statements I just made, because Venus and Neptune are conjunct in Pisces, which is your third house of business, Capricorn, and that can cause you to have really insightful downloads and visions and, you know, ideals about what you want to create. But it can also make you like really just like way too whimsical and ungrounded and like not even like anchored in the real, quote unquote real. We all know it's the Maya out here, you know what I'm saying, the illusion, but in the third dimension. So all that to say, Capricorn, if you're interested in my course, be sure to check out the link down below to schedule a call with me this Saturday. We is chilling live under this full moon. Do go ahead and send me a little email with the 411 in the title if you want in on that. And with that said, we're going to cruise over to Virgo. We're going to go to Virgo. Virgo. All right, Virgo, here you are. So Virgo, this is going to be an amazing full moon for you. Why? It's in your first house. Anytime you have a full moon in the first house, it's more significant. It's more impactful. The first house is the most private house of any house in the astrology chart. Facts, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a full moon in the first house, you very much so see a ripening, a completion, a fulfillment, an apparent in your face, like this is happening right now, like a spotlight just went on in this thing and caught my eye and my attention on this. I can't avoid the fact that it's happening. You're going to have all that happening in your own life at a very big level, because the first house is how that translates. You understand? So with that said, Virgo, your ruling planet and also the ruling planet of this full moon, because Mercury rules Virgo and the moon is currently transiting Virgo, right? Mercury is over here in Aquarius, and this is your sixth house of health. So out of all the people, y'all Virgos are going to be having the most Virgo-ish of the full moon experiences, because your ruler is in the 6th house. That's the 6th sign, that's Virgo. Not to conflate them, because I agree there's nuances between signs and houses, of course, but the 6th house is admittedly associated with what we cannot deny as Virgo-ish things, such as servitude, humility, redundant, committed tasks over a period of time throughout a variety of different means, i.e., servitude in a capacity of enslavement. And you can be enslaved to a job, you can be enslaved to a role or a position, you know, and what you have to do of service in some way, shape, or form. So that's all very Virgo-ish. Now, all that to say, the 6th house Virgo is also your health, your wellness, and your nutrition, your diets, your habits, your healthy habits, or your not so healthy habits. The 6th house actually rules illness in ancient astrology. So be aware as a Virgo ascendant sun or moon right now that your dispositing planet, your ruling planet Mercury, is in the 6th house of illness. So if you are doing something, Virgo, that you darn well know you should not be doing in regard to your health, or if you're not doing something you know you should be doing in regard to your health, by all means, please take immediate action on this and become more aligned with what you know inside from a soul level is true. And that's Jupiter speaking to us here, because Jupiter is in Aquarius and bringing us this enlightenment wherever Jupiter transits. And Jupiter is much happier than in Capricorn, right? So Jupiter is bringing that epiphany, that awareness, that higher benevolent, kind of just like awareness and download and inner knowingdom. Jupiter is very wise, you know? So wherever your thoughts are leading you that feel wise, Virgo, in relationship to the 6th house matters. Your nutrition, your health, your habits, that's where you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention there right now, where you know you need to be paying attention in regard to such things. So that's my suggestion, Virgo, for sure. Also, like, you know, Mercury, your ruling planet's with Jupiter, so it's probably going to be a pleasant full moon for you. I'm not trying to scare you, but it definitely is the time to like get your act together with health related things, if you know what I mean. Okay, what else is going on under this heavens for you that stands out to me in particular, Virgo? You definitely have like that 9th house activation and awareness right now. Mars is squaring the 1st house from the 9th house for y'all at the time of this lunation. So just be careful about conflicts related to belief systems. I feel like everywhere you go these days is just like a philosophical, like, what's it called? Where they have like explosives in the ground, you know, like a ground mine or whatever they're called. Like it just, you walk on it and it explodes. That's like what I feel like a lot of things are these days with philosophy. It's like philosophy explosives all over the place. But with that said, you are likely to have more than other people because of this 9th house, 1st house square between Mars and the moon, fights over belief systems and what people feel like they're standing up for and how people actually feel at a very personal level. So emotions are really raw right now, and be careful about that. On the flip side, you could find some deeply passionate connection with a partner on or over your belief systems and your philosophies, and experience great bodily pleasure, if you know what I mean, from that sort of compatibility, because the 9th house is the house of belief systems, and the 1st house with the moon there in the 1st house is a signifier of embodiment, because the moon in ancient Vedic astrology especially, as well as Hellenistic, stands in for the embodiment of a being. So all that to say, that's it, you know, and it's in the 1st house. That's really the majority of what I'm seeing, other than the 7th house for you. So look at all this Pisces stuff. You definitely have relationships going on. What I'm going to warn every single Virgo out there right now, please do not get caught up in fantasy in relationship to relationships. If you're a Virgo and you know you have a partner and that partner is deceptive or not faithful or whatever, escapist or whatever, you need to own up to the fact that that is your truth at this point in time. Not only do you need to, you just will. You'll find that you are under the next month, if that, you know, at max, you're going to be feeling like, oh, I really need to speak my truth in terms of like who I'm actually partnered with. And a lot of Virgos out there who still want to try to put on rose-colored glasses are going to be seeing their partner in an untrue light. They're going to be seeing their partner as better than what they actually are providing them, because the two illusionary planets of Venus and Neptune are in their 7th house right now. They're in Pisces, which is Virgo's 7th house. So just be aware. At the same time that is a thing, though, the sun is there, which is the divine truth of everything. So I think you're coming to realizations, Virgo. I think a lot of this, the moon is visiting your 1st house under this lunation. So a lot of this is about a personal reset, but we can't deny the fact this is your 1st 7th house axis, Virgo. You know what I'm saying? And these are angular houses, people. If you don't know your astrology terms yet, you can join us in the course. So we will help you. But with that said, Virgo, I do hope that is going to be of service to you, that this is of service to you. And congratulations on your moon. Every time you have a moon, it's once a year usually, and it's a rare opportunity to really soak in some culminative rewards, to get some results from what you've been working on, So with that said, if you want to join us for this Virgo full moon, be the superstar at the superstar event, you know what I'm saying? You can just email me at the Gmail address down below, 411 in the title. I will send you the link. You can join us in our own little comunidad. It'll be super dope. And if you are interested in the astrology course and upping your chops and really learning astrology once and for all, to grow from there, you can check out the link to schedule a call with me, also down below in the description box. With that said, moving on to Taurus. What's up, Taurus? What's up, Taurus? We're going to move forward here, Taurus, to get it where you have the visual of you on the ascendant. You know what I mean? Taurus, I swear you're almost here. All right. Boom, Taurus, there you are. Okay, Taurus. So what is really going on for you under this full moon? Well, look, this full moon is in your 5th house. Are you kidding me? That's great. That's so auspicious. The 5th house is a very happy house. You and Capricorn have lucked out, you know what I'm saying, to have this in such profound houses for you. They're really joyful houses, the 5th house and the 9th. So all that to say, the 5th house is about romance, pleasure, joy, passion projects, creations, and you're getting a culmination, a ripening of those things right now. So if you have been working a lot on a project, on a creative pursuit, on a passion project, on even a small business that you think of as like a passion project in those terms, that is all 5th house stuff. And with that said, that is getting illuminated right now. That is becoming ripe somehow for consumption. When you think of ripening of a fruit, it's at its prime, it's at its peak, it's at its most abundant, it's at its most delicious. So you go and you combine that with your creative pursuits, and there's some really potent, a benevolent energy unavailable for this point in time. So definitely consider that under this influence of this moon itself. And also what stands out to me about this is you do have that 11th house activation of all this Pisces energy right now. So in other words, Taurus, you're super blessed for a couple distinct reasons. Number one, this axis is not a super benevolent axis for you, the 5th house 11th house axis. Number two, your ruling planet is Venus, and it just entered Pisces at the time of this lunation. So Venus, if you don't know, is really happy in the sign of Pisces. And Venus, as I said, rules you as a Taurus. No matter where Venus goes at any point in time, it is an indicator of you. So Venus is in the sign of Pisces and really dropping some significantly beautiful, benevolent, divine, graceful, artistic, escapist, pleasurable vibes. And like Venus and Pisces is just the best for poetry and gushy things and all the things of Venus that you associate with Venus, of cutesiness and affection and empathy and, really just like divine kind of like compassion. That's all very Piscean. And so you have that influence as your ruling planet in the 11th house, Taurus, which means that networks and groups that you're a part of right now over the next month, Taurus, they could be giving you really positive results, really beautiful results, really compassionate results, really, benevolent and enjoyable results, because Venus rules pleasure. And when it's in a water sign, it's pleasure of emotional experience. So if you think of poetry, that's words, but it provides an emotional response. Venus in Pisces, you see my point? And so I think this is a really auspicious month for you with such benevolent axis as the 5th and 11th houses activated here, that axis, right, that forms between those two houses. And the other thing that stands out, Taurus, is the fact that in your 10th house, you have the dispositor of the moon itself. So if you are a Taurus up for promotion right now, trust and believe over the next month, you're likely to experience a little something, something in that arena, you feel, because the dispositor of the moon in your 5th, which could be signifying a result of your creative pursuits that you've put into the business that you're aligned with, are recognized in the 10th house. You feel the 5th house ruler, where the moon is disposited in the 10th house of vocation over the long period of time, of long-term career development. The 10th house is not your day-to-day job. The 10th house is one's legacy. So if you're looking to make significant bumps and moves and changes and shakes in your legacy, your career, your long-term arc, your story arc that is you and yourself, this is an excellent month to get shimmy in and make some moves on it, Taurus. You have a lot of cosmic support, truly, through and through, a lot of cosmic support. And, the second house ruler, the money ruler, Mercury rules Gemini in your chart as a Taurus ascendant sun or moon, and that ruler is well dignified in that 10th house too. So you see here the 5th house ruler conjunct the well, they're the same ruler, but they're conjunct the ruling planet of that house, Saturn. So Mercury rules your 2nd house and your 5th house, in other words, and is conjunct Saturn, the ruler of your 10th house, in the 10th house. So it's grounding things, and Jupiter is bringing in spiritual abundance and growth there. So I think a lot of Tauruses can really excel right now in terms of building their career, and also in terms of really just having some really supportive network support, feeling really gracefully, emotionally, kindly, compassionately, intuitively supported by people in their network environments. I think that's going to be a significant thing that Tauruses experience. Taurus, do not be shy. Join us for the Virgo full moon webinar this Saturday. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. All you need to do, send an email with 411 in the title to wisdomdropz@gmail.com, linked down below. And also, Taurus, if you want to learn astrology once and for all and really know your stuff, I am booking enrollment calls, so you're welcome to use that link down below as well. And with that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.